In this lesson, we're going to take everything we've learned so far about the front view of the face, and we're going to put it together, and we're going to draw an entire face. In this case, we're going to go for a sultry look. And when I think of sultry, the first thing that comes to my mind is like Jessica Rabbit for some reason. And so just kind of as an inspiration, we'll kind of do the hair. Now we're gonna use the template here. If you use this template, you're pretty much, you're guaranteed to get a nice looking face. Just make sure to stick to the template and everything will be good. So Jessica Rabbit had this kind of hairstyle sort of. Now when I draw hair, I like to have just a few lines, and sometimes I like them to like start and meet up together like this, boom, like that. Now you have to do it kind of fast to get it to look right, like so. And so whenever you have a couple lines just kind of like almost slightly overlapping, so like I'll start here and it'll come like that. Does that make sense? Now, I like the way it looks. It looks nice. All right, we're gonna have our neck in here. Oops. I'm gonna make the face just a little bit thinner there. Just try to make a little more pointing of the chin, like so. Now keep in mind, for the neck, you have this kind of piece comes like this. It has this kind of shape to it, like that. You have these two cords on each side. They have a shape to them like this, almost like they're, like half, like they're like cords or pipes and right underneath the skin. Then you have your collarbones come off like that. It's important to understand those shapes when drawing, so that if you want to draw a shadow, you can. And so I'm gonna have the shadow coming from the right hand side a little bit here. We're gonna just kind of come down like this. So it's gonna come down like that is it's shadowing part of that shape right here. And it's gonna come over the cord like so. And actually I'm gonna have it come right here. There's also on each side of the cord, the skin right here kind of comes like that. So all that's gonna be kind of shadowed off. And then you have this indent here in between. And you have this cord coming up, and I think part of that cord and part of this collarbone right here. So that's gonna be where I'm gonna have my shadows. Right, so the most important thing, I'll have the hair come down like this. For drawing a sultry face is the eyes, and how the eyes look is really, really important. And I'm just deciding how I want the hair to be here. I'm just gonna draw a couple lines. We're gonna have her hair kind of falling down and a little bit. There's a little bit of bounce to it, but it's also pretty flat here as well. So about like that. Right, so the lips will also sell it. I'm going to show you one really cool trick with lips. With the eyes, what you want to do is draw the eye as you normally would, kind of. Draw where you'd have the pupil here. Now typically you don't have the whole entire pupil showing anyway. Right, so that's where the eye is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom lash here. We're going to cover almost the entire part of the pupil. That's really all it takes right there. That line is what defines that you have the sultry look. I like to make the makeup nice and thick. And this is going to sell that whole look right here. Now the bottom lid, you can do however you want. Well, I guess not however you want. There's different ways to do it, but let's go ahead and draw just a couple more lashes coming off this way as if they're coming down. Now keep in mind, we're not trying to recreate reality. What we do want to show her lid here a little bit though. And then we'll have her eyebrows in here. Now, keep in mind the eyebrows are still going to be in about the same spot as they normally would. That's not really going to change when you close your eye, but they're going to appear higher. And the reason why the eyebrow appears higher is because the eye is being partly closed, so the lid is lowering itself down away from your eyebrow. I'm going to draw just some of this part of the eye here. You also want it to have that same kind of sultry look, so Right, now how I draw that, I'm going to just have a little bit of, I want to make sure that my highlights don't go against the eye. I want the eyelashes to cover the highlights. That's why it's on a perfect circle. Notice how I drew it there. And if you need to go back with the black again, go back with the black again and cover it a little bit. That way the highlight of your eye isn't like a perfect circle, because you wouldn't see the whole highlight of the eye since it's being shadowed by your eyelashes a bit. Now as far as the bottom of the eye here, I like to keep everything the same over on this side as we normally draw the eye. Except I want it to touch the eye though, for sure, right here. Like so. Now we already kind of see that kind of sultriness to the eye there. Now the nose, I'm going to draw the nose a little bit higher here. I'm going to have it, it's a slight line like this. Very slight line like, I'm not really sure how I want that line to look yet. But I want the other nostril here as well, just like a more of a thinner line. Very thin flares. Then we're trying to, break reality a little bit and keep things cute. And I might kind of just slightly come in here with a little bit of a line like that. There you have it, that's for the nose. Now for the lips, we have that top part of the lip here, and then just come down. So this is typical for sexy, sultry looks here, what I'm about to do with the lips. Right, that's the upper lip there, and the lower lip is going to attach. And you can make it, I don't want to make it that big. I'm not going to attach it all the way either. Maybe kind of hint at a couple little highlights there, and you can also kind of do like a couple little lines just to kind of show the shape of the lip. Right, and that's that. Now here we can actually do a couple different things, and you can see the whole entire face. It's done pretty quickly. Now one thing I don't like is this came up a little too high, so we want the top of the head to be kind of more kind of flat. That's going to be coming up high. And I'm going to make it to where her hair doesn't come out so far. I'm not going to give her so much bounce to the hair. I want it to kind of hug a little more tightly to the shape of her head here. There you have it. Right, so for the mouth, there's actually something really cool you can do. Really simple trick. You kind of add this kind of oval shape here and two little lines. Now if you make it too open, then it looks more like, almost like she's kind of making a slight scared face. So if you keep this more oval in shape, then you have that cute look. Now she has a kind of sultry look. Those are typical lips you'll see often in comics. There's other shapes you can go with though. We can kind of stick more with the actual shape of the lips here. And then coming down, we're still kind of thinking of that oval shape though as we're drawing this. If you want to even show some of her upper teeth there, you can. That part will be shaded in, like so. Right, so those are different ways to do it. I think sometimes it looks better to keep it simple. Another thing you can do is you kind of do a mix of both. So you have this kind of upper part of the lip right here a little bit coming down, like so. Then we're just going to kind of create that oval look right here. Now you have kind of a mix between the two. And you have this cute look to her. Now notice, it's really important that when you want to draw that kind of sultry look, that you don't cover too much of the eye. Because you don't want her to look like she's tired or she's falling asleep on you. You want to look like she's deliberately trying to close your eyes a little bit. And then from here you can add, a couple little lines. I like to sometimes add these little guidelines, maybe where have my shadows in there. That's totally up to you. Now I like to make another layer, and on this layer I'm going to just kind of put in the basic shadows. Now one way to do that is take like a kind of light gray color and use the ink pen still and make it kind of big for the first parts that you want to color in, and just color in all the major aspects where hey, no, not major aspects, so the major areas that a lot of shadow is going to be in. like so. And when you're doing this, keep form in mind. I'm going to go ahead and draw her entire eyelid and shadow there as if she has makeup on. Her entire upper lip here, her lower lip as well, part of her nose, this part of the hair here, shadow. Again, doing this very, very quickly, but just I want to show you guys in real time that you can do this very quick. Sometimes I'll go all the way around with the shadow like this. Other times I don't want that much shadow there. In this case, it's one of those times where I just want shadow to come to here, maybe just be under her lip a little bit. And you can actually make the shadow deeper in some parts than others, and I'll show you how to kind of change the shadow in just a bit. So the shadow will be coming up on this side of the hair more than the other side. This is the side light would be hitting this side more. But I do want to have a little bit of shadow right here. Alright, just kind of maybe have the shadow kind of take the shape of the hair a little bit. Again, it's done very, very quickly, but you get the idea. Just want to show that in real time you can actually do this pretty quickly, and when you're drawing comic books, that's what it's all about. It's about being efficient, about being quick. I like to take this brush here. Now, if you're using pencil, whatever, all you have to do is just blend the pencil out a little bit, right? If you're using another program, just find a brush that kind of does something similar to this. I'm using Manga Studio 5, so this is the transparent watercolor under the paintbrush watercolor, and I like to just kind of pull it out just a little bit, and let's make it a little bit smaller of a brush here. I like to just kind of fix up some of these lines so they kind of blur out a little bit more, so they're not quite as hard. And it's almost like cell shading in a way, because it kind of adds that kind of cell shaded look where you have two tones coming together. And then for the highlight of her eyes here, I'm going to make a lighter color, and let's go ahead and just kind of push in just a little bit like that. Oh, it's kind of hitting the eyelash a little bit. And then there's some parts where I might want it to be a little bit darker. And I might just add a couple dark spots like this into it. Like so. Another thing you can do here is you can do another type of cell shading. So what cell shading is just take another color that's darker than that, so use the Alt key. Let's go ahead and pick up this color here. Let's make a color that's a little bit darker than that. And now we're going to just kind of trace over where we want the darker part of the shadow to be. And that right there is basically cell shading. You're done already. But what I like to do is take that same brush again, make it a little bit smaller, and just kind of blend those in just a little bit like that. Adds, I think, a little bit more smoother transition. Looks really cool, and it's really fast to do. And again, remember, you're all about trying to be efficient here with your drawing. Lastly, we can add some highlight here for the lips using the pen brush. Where you have those highlights is up to you. I like usually have one kind of bigger highlight right there on the lip. And if you want to show the philtrum, I like to do it with this brush here and just put on small and just have it like this. Remember, the philtrum is an actual dip in the lip, and so the shadow's on the other side. Maybe just kind of add a little extra darkness right here for the nostril. And maybe you can add just a little bit on this side over here if you wanted to kind of show more of the philtrum, but I don't like to do that. If I do it, I like to just have one line and that's it. And even then, I think sometimes it needs to be just very subtle. If it's too much, take my eraser here, just kind of erase it just a little bit. Very, very subtle when I show the philtrum. And there you have it. So taking it all together, putting it all together. Sometimes with the hair, I'll keep it, Maybe add a little bit more right here, but I'll keep it more hard. I won't really smooth it out as much. And sometimes I'll add a couple more darker lines here and there where it needs to be. Like for example, I think all this right here should be darker. But as you can see, if you take this, you take the knowledge, put it all together now, it's not too difficult to draw a nice looking sultry face, taking the knowledge that we've gained throughout the first part of the course. And as you can see, when you get better, you'll be able to draw it much, much faster. And there you have it. Now you have a sultry looking face and not too hard to do. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this. And for the exercise, it's really, really simple. I don't even have to make a separate video for it. All I want you to do is practice drawing different faces from the front view with all the knowledge you've gained. That's it. It's really simple. So draw about 20 faces at least. And if you need to draw them, draw the first ones from the template. Just trace right over them like I did here. And then after you feel comfortable with that template, really draw that template several times. If you haven't done those exercises already, redo those exercises until that template just feels natural to you, where you can just draw it, you know, without really having to do much measurement and stuff like that. Once the template is looking nice, then draw some features over the template. If it doesn't look right, then try tracing over the template again. Keep doing that back and forth until the templates you draw look correct. At first you might think the template looks correct, but then you add your eyes and mouth and nose on it and stuff, and you're like, I don't know, something doesn't look right. If that happens, go back, redraw by tracing over my template again, and then drawing how you draw eyes, nose, and mouths and everything. It's going to be a little different than how I draw. Everyone develops their own style. And if it looks right then you know, okay, something's wrong with the template. And then go back and try to retrain your brain to draw that template correctly. I can't stress enough how important it is to get that foundation right, to get the proportions of the face right, just like with the figure. So really master that template. If you master that, then all this right here will come that much easier. And that's it. So just keep going back and forth a few times until you got some nice faces. You want about 20 nice faces. Once you have that down, then you're ready to move on in the course and start doing the profile view, which is a side view, and the 3/4 view. The 3/4 view is going to be the view you use most often, but you really need to understand the front view and the side view, I think, to really appreciate what the 3/4 view is all about. Alright, thank you for watching, and get to drawing. And lastly, if you want even a more sultry look, you can go ahead and bring the eyelashes down a little bit further. All I did was just make the eyelashes a little bit thicker and covered up more of the eye. And then I had to draw a little bit more of the pupil in there, and then just boom, a little dot for the highlight. And that's how you get that even slightly more, I guess, closed eye look, sultry look. Alright, that's it. I mean it this time, that's all.